Okay, so I now give the cameraman, please. Did you get a good shot? Okay. I'm going to give you to Nathan Roche, but before I do, in a moment of shameless self-promotion, oh hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yes.
Okay. Shameless self-promotion. France TV, Nouvelle Écriture, Rickshaw Wars. Regrettably, I am the star of this documentary on French television. It boggles my mind, and my mind is not known as Alexander McCann on that program. Nathan's a great guy. I met him at Lavage. He writes more than I do. He claims not to use any drugs in the writing. I mean, to get him to write.
Before and after, though.
Before and well, we'll take care of after later. Here it is. Thank you for putting up with me.
Thanks. Maybe this microphone isn't necessary. I know it's a good aesthetic to mix things up, I guess. So we're gonna do a few readings of the book, and then Yannick will conduct a Q&A.
Am I? Why?
Because it's important for the professional book launch.
Do I have to answer questions?
You ask the questions, and I'll respond.
All right.
And then maybe we can do a traduction.
Oh, yeah, okay.
En français.
Oh, all right.
Or maybe you could ask me the questions in French, and I could respond in... No, you could ask...
Why don't we try... We'll work out later.
We'll do the book reading first.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my 13th novel called Lavage de Cerveau, which... what's the translation of the title, Yann?
Brainwashing.
Brainwashing. It's a limited pressing of 10 books. There's 10 books, and it took 10 months to write it. But you know, maybe 5 days of every month. This is the opening chapter. We'll just do a few different sections from the book, and then I'll fill in the gaps, and then Yannick will analyze them.
Analyze the gaps?
Yeah. And then Jim will give a review of the analyzing. Okay, so it's a sequel to a book that already existed that no one else read, called The Nemea Neuroses, and it was set in Nouvelle-Calédonie, which is a French island near Australia, about a doctor who's not really a doctor, but comes up with a system to I don't remember, but anyway, he gets invited by the French embassy to come to Paris to come up with a new procedure for Parisians in the winter. And this is the first chapter. A man is carrying a bag of his dirty laundry down the street. Inside is a selection of his usual work shirts that he rotates through on the 5-day basis. It doesn't matter what he does for a living, that part is irrelevant. All that matters is it's washing day. He also has his weekend casual attire. For this time of year, it's mostly shorts. Shorts to him represent the freedom of the weekend, the liberation from his work routine, and the tight, dense clothes that he and many others must commit to. Inside also includes sports shirt and shorts for running along the Seine and canals, long pants for occasional dates, which are becoming less frequent, bath towels, several pairs of socks, and underpants. His apartment is far too small to have washing facilities of its own. but he himself would admit to enjoying the process of walking to the Laungerette. It's a considerably quiet Saturday morning in the 18th district of Paris, in the area of Côte d'Or. The streets are more or less empty, but they too are very nice after being washed by the rain. All the buildings and monuments, far too many to name, suddenly glisten and become newly presented to the locals, tourists, the whole world ready to embrace it and take a silly photograph. Hey, but why so desolate? Well, in August, September, everyone has gone on their hotly anticipated summer holidays and left the place a grey ghost town with a minimal amount of boulangeries and cafes still open for business. He carries the bag with both hands, and if a passerby really wanted to, he could see the different colours and patterns through the clear plastic to get a sense of his style and tastes. Clothes define a man, they say, and a brief insight would build the character of the irrelevant stranger to someone who cared and to formulate the image in their mind. At the same time as this, in the same glorious city, an Australian man who goes by the name of Jack Gibson is changing trains from Gare du Nord train station onto the metro line in hope of reaching Charles Michel in the 15th arrondissement. After arriving into Charles de Gaulle Airport on a flight from Sydney with one change and 3 beers in the airport of Dubai, he has minimal baggage, and in his top right pocket is a letter from the French government which explains the reasoning of his arrival. The document reads as follows. Dear Dr. Jack Gibson, we recently became aware of your studies that you conducted on the French island of New Caledonia in the Pacific Ocean some months ago through a former colleague, Dr. Felix Estienne. Your studies to seek and access relaxation have intrigued us, and we read your journal, The Mnemia Neurosis, that documented the entire experience. We've heard excellent reports of your seminars throughout Australia and your attempts to alter the conscious mind. In Paris, as you might not know, the people of the city have a great deal of trouble, particularly in the wintertime. Thus, based on your work, we have proposed you to come and study as a resident by invitation of the French Embassy, Jim. It is also to our knowledge that you have grown up in a port, harbour and coastal town in your native homeland of Australia. So we offer you an opposite alternative to your landlocked beautiful capital, and to see how it might affect your previous work, which was highly dependent on the coastal experience. We will provide flights, living arrangements, and a small wage for you to stay here and sort out new methods based on the new surroundings. Books seem a lot quicker when you read it in your head. And when you read it out loud, it sounds really boring. So let's find an exciting section of the book. Where could it be? Maybe it's here. Let me just read it and then summarize. Just wait, because it's funner in my head. Oh, that's good.
Son, pull yourself together.
Son, falling apart here, Dad. Okay, so this next section is about when the doctor comes to Paris. He's sitting at a cafe in Charles Michel, and a person is running around the street trying to sell people something.